What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Even though the Mets only took 1 of 3, the Knicks won Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And that's all that really matters. We know you guys are only here for Knicks Corner. Big Knicks Corner coming up later. Of course, though, we will talk about everything that went on in Seattle. We got some good, we got some bad, we got some Mark Vientos nonsense, which, he's got it coming to him. So make sure you guys stick around and are subscribed to Mets'd over on YouTube if you want to see the video version of this. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, been a few days. How we doing? How we feeling?
Been a few days. Also, sorry for the late podcast. Mark was in a hotel in middle of nowhere, North Carolina, that had literally almost no Wi-Fi whatsoever. It might as well have had no Wi-Fi.
Shout out to Burlington Sock Puppets. Not their fault that the hotel was bad Wi-Fi. I chose basically a Holiday Inn Express type thing, I think by Hilton, and I'm shocked at how bad the internet was. Truly unusable. I couldn't watch YouTube videos. I was in hell. Yeah,
we went on to record the podcast, and we're like, oh, actually can't do this, so we'll get it to you now. But fun. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't a fun series in Seattle. You gave up a massive chance to seize momentum, earn more momentum on Monday in an extra inning loss. Tuesday, you played like shit, and a lot of this Mark Vientos defense stuff is going to come into this conversation. Thankfully, Wednesday, you salvage it, so not snowballing. Like we've seen this team snowball over and over again. Like it's better to win one game than to get swept. But I don't know. I think it would be disingenuous to just be really positive in a series that we lost and start there. So I guess maybe we'll just start to go chronological, then work our way into Vientos.
Yeah, so let's start with Monday, which was, again, just a classic 2026 Mets game. Frustrating. Didn't deserve to win, but a good team ends up winning those games, and we know this Mets team is not a good team, so obviously they don't. I love Juan Soto. Again, the fact that he came up in the 10th, and we didn't score any runs, and he was the leadoff guy. Like, that sucks.
It's painful.
Love Juan Soto. Again, never really going to say anything bad about him, but, of course, infallible. He didn't come through for us there. We needed him in that game badly because almost nobody else was doing anything.
No, I mean, literally, the team had 2 hits. They drew no walks. The extent of the entire offense was solo home runs by Jared Young, who I love, and Marcus Semien, who did, again, at this point in the series, you think, oh, Marcus Semien's getting the bat back on track. Didn't feel that way by the end of it, but that was it. Again, you're facing Emerson Hancock, who's an exciting young pitcher this season. Hasn't pitched as well over the last month than he pitched over the first month. And somehow, again, you don't draw a walk. I counted it out after this game because I was so mad about it. And it was such a quick game. I was still up and I was wired from our softball semifinal victory before our championship defeat. And I think that was, if I remember counting right, I think it was the 7th or 8th time this season the Mets haven't drawn a walk.
Yeah,
how do you do that often? How do you do that?
The approach is bad, dude. And it's the combination of, I think the Mets do have a bad approach. I think it's a combination of the Mets, I don't understand what the approach might even be, because I don't think that the hitting coaches in the front office and the management and Carlos Mendoza, I don't think that they're saying, hey, guys, let's not walk.
No, of course not.
That's not anything that any baseball team would tell you besides, the Los Angeles Angels, maybe. But, for the Mets to not walk as many times as they have, there's clearly a disconnect of what the game plan is, should be, can be, is played out for. Also, it just tells you that every team in Major League Baseball is like, these guys, yeah, here, hit strikes. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. It's not like the Mets particularly chase a ton either. The balls are in the zone. The Mets just do nothing with it.
Yeah, like you said, there weren't even that many strikeouts in that game. It was just a game where you felt like you could not get hits in general. Even against Emerson Hancock, didn't even swing and miss that often. And Alex hit the ball hard, kind of here and there, but just you felt like the whole game the offense had nothing. And again, you were in position to steal it, and not being able to do so was frustrating. But the reason you were in position to steal it, which is something that I'm going to talk about and be very encouraged about right now, is Sean Manaea looked legit good.
Yes. That has to be the one of the more encouraging things about this series moving forward, is that as hard as we've been on Sean Manaea, we have had very, very strict rules as to when we'll start to believe that Sean Manaea could be back, and it was all tied to his velo, and his velo was much more sustainable in this game.
His velo was more sustainable. It also felt like with the sustained velo, he was commanding the ball a lot better. He was missing bats with all of his pitches. He brought the four-seamer and the cutter back just to give more things for righties to think about. He had a good game. He was actually peppering four-seamers in, which I have not seen Sean Manaea do at all, have the confidence to do it all against righties this year. But that was because it was back to 91, 92 miles per hour. But then the issues did come as he got hit the similar wall that he has hit around 53-ish, 50 pitches, where once he got into his 5th inning of work in the 6th, the velo went back down again. And I think that this was something that was talked about a bit after this game. And I think it was, in the moment, I was not upset with the decision at all, because as I saw the velo dropping, even though Sean Manaea had retired, I want to count it again. It was 11 in a row after the Colt Emerson home run to close his outing. and he was very smooth doing it. But once I saw those 90s pop up on the board, I was like, okay, I guess he's hit the wall, take him out. You bring in Brooks Raley to face left-handed Josh Naylor, and he immediately hits a home run and a hanging sweeper. So that was frustrating in that moment. People chastised Mendoza for the decision. I didn't, because I saw those velocity readings, and I saw the fact that we were stretching into like high 80s again, which I don't want to see. But now you see the results of it, and you get kind of frustrated.
Yeah, the results sucked. I actually don't think that was a bad process. Again, like even Sean Manaea, like at his best, I still trust Brooks Raley, lefty especially, to have a better chance to get that out than Sean Manaea. Like Brooks Raley's been nails. I think the last couple of appearances for him have been a little bit more shaky, but it's going to happen throughout a year for a guy who's going to make as many appearances as him. But to criticize Mendoza, the decision making on that, I don't think that's honestly fair as someone who is one of the biggest Carlos Mendoza haters. Brooks Raley is the better lefty. I want to see Brooks Raley in that situation.
And the whole reason that you use Sean Manaea following an opener with Austin Warren again, nice, great first inning. It took a little time to get there, but yeah, great first inning. Is that you can get Sean Manaea through his 5 innings. He doesn't have to see the top of the lineup a third time. Was it a second time? I'm trying to remember. He was so smooth in this game that he didn't really face these guys at all.
Quite efficient.
Also, then you get like, okay, Naylor is a lefty. You could have let him face Naylor, then taken him out for Rosarena. But like, if you get to the 7th inning in a 1-run game and you have Raley, Weaver, Williams, who, again, besides the odd blow up from Devin Williams, the odd walk off grand slam, these guys collectively have been nails for like the better part of a month and a half right now. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of maybe that's the rigidity of Carlos Mendoza, playing too much to the plan, less to the game. Well, again, you see the velocity readings on Manaea, you say take him out, but you see him retire 11 in a row, you think leave him in. It's just this could be about him just now not trusting his instincts less. When we thought that was the thing he did well, then he did it poorly. Now he stopped doing it. Who knows, whatever. But definitely worth being encouraged by Sean Manaea after this start.
But that was about it on Monday.
Yeah, that was kind of it.
And Jared Young. Love Jared Young.
Love Jared Young. But again, like to get a chance to steal the game for Juan Soto to not really have a great at-bat in the 10th inning was very frustrating. And for no one to pick him up, obviously, was even more frustrating.
Yeah, but I mean, we're just, at this point, that's just what we're used to with the 2026 Mets. Like, we've played so many extra inning games, and it does feel like more often than not, we don't score in that extra inning.
No, I think we're actually over 500 in the extra inning games, which I couldn't believe when Gary said that stat.
That feels crazy.
Maybe double check me on that right now, but I think
I don't even know how to look that up.
Just you scroll the schedule. You count the ones with the 10 or 11 or 12 next to them.
All right, I'll look.
But I also he had more sweep on the sweeper. Like he looked like a legitimately good starting pitcher. I would still like to keep him in the piggyback role just to give him a little bit more leeway against tops of orders. He doesn't have to face them the third time always. But this is Sean Manaea right now is definitely putting himself back near the circle of trust for Mets pitchers.
7-5 in extra inning games this year for the Mets.
Look at that. Maybe we need more of them, not fewer of them.
Mets would be a playoff team if they played every game in extra innings.
Yeah, right. Now Tuesday's game.
Yeah.
This was where more frustration definitely seeped over from me. This was one where I didn't really love Brazoban coming out for his second inning as the opener for Tong. I especially didn't like him giving up a home run to a righty and Patrick Wisdom. Then I didn't like Tong coming in to like not to clean the situation in that second inning, getting stressed right away. And then Tong actually settled in moderately well. This was by far the best cutter we've seen from him ever.
It was moving.
It was moving. It was good. He was putting it on the outside corner against the righties. But then things fell apart in, I want to grab what inning it was exactly. It was the third inning, so right after Tong came in, where it's just you get errors and errors and errors. Semien, Vientos, and then Vientos makes another poor play. That wasn't an error, but it was a play good first baseman makes in the fifth inning, and you're just, it all snowballs, and suddenly you're looking at a 7-2 deficit, and the game's over.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Mark Vientos is not a good first baseman, despite what he thinks. Everybody who's ever watched the game of baseball, all the numbers, all the stats, they tell you that he's one of the worst, not just defensive first baseman league. He's one of the worst baseball players in all of Major League Baseball. And the comments that he had after Tuesday's game, where he legitimately maybe had one of the worst baseball games ever. It's honestly disturbing. It's disgusting. Like if the Mets had like a little bit of a dog in them, and I think if Jorge Polanco was healthy and on this team, or closer to being back to this team, I do think Mark Vientos might have been DFA'd on the spot.
I still don't think so because they still have Wagman as the more obvious DFA candidate. I was raging on Twitter.
That's why Polanco would bump him off, and then Vientos would be the guy who'd get cut.
You think, wait, but you're getting rid of two guys and you're only bringing back one?
Well, Jared Young is there. You don't need two first basemen. You don't need three first basemen on the roster.
We currently have 3 first basemen on the roster.
I know, that's also insane. We shouldn't be doing that either, especially if Mark Vientos is one of them.
Yeah. Again, I was raging. I was in my Twitter comments. Also still reeling from the softball loss, being like, what does Eric Wagman do better than Mark Vientos? I mean, what does Mark Vientos do better than Eric Wagman? Because, again, this was...
Like, swipe on Raya, probably, maybe?
Mark Vientos might even be past Raya at this point. Like, this is like there was one of the worst baseball games I've ever seen. On top of the bad error, on top of the near error that led in the big inning afterwards, when the Mets were starting to rally a little bit just after that, they chased Logan Gilbert from the game. There were a few guys on base. Benge hit the leadoff home run right after that. Johnny Pereda home run. So you're like, all right, you're feeling back in it. Solo singles. Jared Young draws a nice walk after a tough battle. You chase Logan Gilbert in the 6th. Eduardo or Edward Bizarro?
Eduardo Bizarro. Ooh, it's got to be Eduardo Bizarro, right?
Edward Bizarro.
Edward Bizarro?
I've
been calling him Eduardo in videos for years.
Racist. But
whoa,
he comes into the game. Reliever comes into the game. Bizarro's a great reliever, but he's still reliever. You got him on the ropes a little bit. Mark Vientos decides to swing at the first pitch that he saw, a sinker, exactly what Bizarro wanted, in on his hands, and boom, double play, right? 3rd, 2nd, 1st, inning over right there. Threat neutralized as the tying run was on deck. And you're just like, and then next inning comes up, Cionel Perez is in for mop-up duty, Julio Rodriguez launches a home run, and now the game's officially over. When it was basically over, then it was officially over.
What if I told you that Mark Vientos has felt pretty good about what he's done defensively this far, and he does think that he's done a pretty good job over there. He's been working, and he feels he's been doing pretty good defensively. What would you say to those comments?
What if I told you that Mark Vientos should give himself a little bit of props? Because over the last month, it's just been a lot of bad luck. The inconsistency is not something that he wants. He's just trying his best to be the best version of himself. It's not happening, but he's working for it for sure. Which, again, second part of that quote, but super okay with.
You also have to remember, too, it's like this. It's like with the pouty face that he has and, like, just an unbelievable amount of arrogance. And just, for lack of a better term, he's such a fucking douchebag. Like, he is such... douchebag. Mark Vientos is a douchebag, and
say it again 3 times for the people at home.
For him to lack the ability to understand that he's been playing bad. There's been no bad luck involved in anything that Mark Vientos has done over the last month. He's walked 1 time in his last, I think, 116 plate appearances, which is, to be honest, me or you might be able to stand up there at the plate, not swing the bat, and get 1 walk in 116 plate appearances. There's a pretty good chance. And even if we don't, he still has 1 more than us. So it's not like he's doing that much better. His at-bats are horrible. His attitude's fucking terrible. He's got awful at first base. He has completely... Remember he gave us that sliver of hope? Well, that's and then he's completely gone.
That's what I was going to say, is that there was a time about 3 weeks ago now where I would agree with Mark Vientos about bad ball luck, where he was stinging the ball consistently. There were tons of barrels. He was hitting the ball hard over and over again, and it wasn't working. That's not been true for the last 3 weeks now, where he's swinging missing more. He's never drawing his walks. He's playing terrible defense, and again, just doesn't seem to have the wherewithal to take the accountability for his poor play when he's been given monster chances over and over again.
What a selfish comment, too. Like, the team's playing bad. You're like, I think I've actually been playing pretty well. And it's like, actually, nothing would say that. Nothing across the board, statistically, eye test, there's nothing that says you've been playing well, Mark Vientos.
It is just the first line. I've got to give myself a little bit of props.
Yeah, it's just like, holy shit, dude, stop fucking talking. Everybody on this Mets team's PR trained except this idiot.
Just read the room a little bit as well, because like this was not the moment to say that after 2 consecutive losses, one where you kind of just got your doors blown off in the second game of the series.
Did he take any accountability after the game and said, like, I have to make those plays or anything? Or did he just say he's been playing good baseball?
I mean, I definitely didn't see every single quote. I saw the one that everybody saw, and that pissed me off more. So maybe we should talk more about it without seeing all of it. I'm scrolling back now, but SNY is just full of Knicks videos.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he didn't, considering I think somebody would have had his back.
I mean, Carlos Mendoza also was like, hey, those are plays he has to make. He knows he has to make them. Carlos Mendoza even made a comment about the Semien error, which was Semien making a bad play, rushing a throw, and then throwing one wild. He made a comment that as the first baseman, Mark Vientos can't let that ball, has to get off the base a little bit. Maybe has to make a better effort on that ball. So it just seems like it's really all going the wrong way very clearly for Mark Vientos right now. And
yeah, I really hope he doesn't play very much more.
I was honestly relieved that he was on the bench on Wednesday afternoon. I was like, good, thankful that they would make a decision like that, especially against a righty. And Jared Young takes great at bats every single time he comes to the plate. So again, he should be in the lineup every single day, and he should probably just be playing defense. And then it goes down to, again, Vientos versus Swagman until hopefully Blanco's back within like a week or so.
Yeah, because he's been rehabbing, right, in AA right now?
He's been rehabbing. Alvarez has been rehabbing. And that also brings us to another conversation, small one from this game on Tuesday, where Jonah Tong, again, bottom line, did not pitch well again.
No.
And there was a lot of moments in that game where I didn't think Tong really had it, but there were also a lot of encouraging things he did. I don't love Hayden Sanger calling games behind the plate. I like him defensively.
He's not great at calling the game.
And I do know that the Mets have gone back and forth a little bit this year with calling pitches from the dugouts. We're not entirely sure exactly how that's all laid out. So I don't want to put all this blame on him, but just I don't know. You had Johnny Pereda behind the fastball, and then you called for the cutter on the ninth pitch of an at-bat, where there were some cutters and some changeups mixed into that bat. Nothing was getting a swing and miss. I probably would have just stuck with the fastball because, again, he was behind on it. Hopefully, then you just get poor contact. And then also the fact that Tong didn't place that cutter in the right spot. Instead of it being outside, it wound up being inside.
Also a new pitch he's still learning actively.
And again, he was placing them well, so I liked him going back to it here and there. But like that cutter was doing really well when it was either high in the zone or outside, like cutting away from the zone. He's treating that cutter like a baby slider to the right-handed batters. But this worked in reverse, where he accidentally threw a front door cutter.
Yeah.
And then it wound up just running onto a barrel. And it's just like a 94-mile-an-hour pitch that's like, again, right onto your barrel as right-handed hitter.
Yeah, I guess the fair way to say this, because again, we don't actually know who's calling games. When Hayden Sanger's been behind the plate, the pitch calling has been suspect. It's not been good. This is now what, the second or third time on Mets Up we've talked about pitch calling while Hayden Sanger's been behind the plate.
I'll also say, I don't think Torrens is great at calling game either. So maybe it's just the Mets not calling good games in from the dugout. Maybe that's the entire thing. That's very possible right now. But like there was, even to start that inning, like Tong blew away Luke Raley with fastballs, and I was like
his fastball's so good.
And it's cool that he can even run that cutter up to like 93 or 94 because that's kind of where the fastball gets when he gets a little tired anyway. And this was worth being encouraged about Tong, which is funny to say because he's already been sent back down to the minor leagues, and he gave up 5 runs and a nuke to end his outing. But like this was really, we should be hanging our hats on what we saw from that Jonah Tong cutter, and it's something that if he can refine over the next few appearances at AAA, he could come back to the major leagues as a pitcher who's ready to kind of rip.
Do we think that the opener thing with him, with Brazoban, like the righty opener thing, makes the most sense again?
I think that, again, similarly, it's worth hiding Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena from him an extra time around the order.
Yeah.
So then you can see them twice, get through the bottom of the order, and then once you see those guys a third time, it's very easy, if you're on a roll, to yank them just exactly like how they did with Sean Manaea the night before. I think that's fine, but I didn't really love Brazoban going for the second inning.
Well, we've talked about that a lot before, too, where it's like, if we're going to do the opener, we should do the opener. I don't think we should be forcing. 12. And it's been Brazoban, I feel like, the couple times, too, where it's like, why is he getting the second inning? Again, and we've joked about it. Is Brazoban going to be a multiple inning guy? Is he going to be a one inning guy? It seems like the Mets don't know on any given day.
It wasn't like an easy first inning. It wasn't like a 7-pitch first inning, so you had to throw him out for the second. It was a 20-pitch first inning that had a guy in scoring position that had tons of stressful pitches. So it did feel like, all right there. Like, and then I figured, especially like with lefties coming up to start the next inning. I know Brazoban's change up first guy, Tong's change up first guy, but just bring in Jonah Tong to a clean inning. And then Brazoban gives up 2 runs, and then a Colt Emerson double, and then Tong has to come in against the lefty, the leadoff hitter in the order. So it was as if Tong didn't get an opener.
Yeah,
Brazoban
exactly.
faced 9 batters. You kind of removes the purpose of what the opener is supposed to serve for a guy like Tong.
Yeah.
And again, weird process situation, but maybe just Mendoza trying to hold it all tight because of how work this bullpen's been.
Yeah, but ultimately the demotion for Tong also makes sense too. Like,
definitely get a fresh arm.
Get a fresh arm up because we need it. And then that's kind of it for Tuesday.
I mean, yeah, just reiterate how much the defense failed Tong as well, but that's and Carson Benge had 2 home runs.
Yeah, wasted a Carson Benge 2 home run game.
Carson Benge has at the end of this game, before taking an 0 for or taking a 1 for on Wednesday, he got the OPS over 700.
Carson Benge, good ball player.
Carson Benge, a great ball player, and then moving on to Wednesday, AJ Ewing got back in the hit column. Bo Bichette finally for his first 4-hit game as a Met. He did this 5 times last year, and the best part is that like all the ex-Woba stands out there, a couple of those hits were just fucking flares.
Oh,
if not most of them.
The Bichette special, where it's just like he saws it off but gets it over the infielder's head a little bit.
And we love that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Love that from Bo Bichette. He contributed a sac fly late. A couple of those hits came around in scoring position. He opened the floodgates with the bases loaded hit off of George Kirby. Like, you were like, oh, nice. Like, this is Bo Bichette.
Yeah, Mets also, like, it's so funny. Like, George Kirby, great pitcher. Mets are like, he'll hit you.
I feel like the Mets always crush Kirby.
Do
is that
they?
not true? I feel like there's been a few times the Mets have really gotten around on Kirby.
It might be. You might be right. I know. Didn't he like? I remember when he pitched in New York. I think we were at the game, and like his entire family's there because he's a New York kid.
He's from Rye, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're probably right though. You're a Kirby guy. You would remember that thing.
Big Kirby guy. I got splits right now. I'll load it up quick while you pontificate on something else.
Love the double steal. That was fun. I mean, like that's something that they definitely probably can't do again the rest of the season.
George Kirby has a 9 career ERA against the Mets.
There you go, James.
With
nice.
a 2.25 whip, and that is
it.
an 0-3 record in 4 starts. Hasn't even gotten to 16 innings in 4 starts against the Mets.
What is the deal with the Mets offense? We owned Paul Skeens, George Kirby, like all these good pitchers we hit, and then it's like,
Didn't hit Logan Gilbert, though.
Emerson Hancock, can't do that.
No, but this was a game where you felt like this is kind of how it's supposed to look, where we were taking long at-bats, we were getting on base. Torrens had a great game at the bottom of the order. MJ Melendez finally got around on one. AJ Ewing back in the hit column. Like, it was just Semien and Beatty, who Beatty is really going through right now. We have to be fair, because how much we talk about all the other guys who we can't stand how they've been playing. Brett Beatty, he had that nice 3 weeks when he was back to playing third base. Now he's had 2 terrible weeks coming off that. And he's another guy who, when this team gets healthy, it's like, are you good enough to be a starting player? It's basically Brett Beatty versus Marcus Semien right now.
And then they probably do just do the platoon that we've always kind of hinted at a little bit.
They probably do, but then I know Marcus Semien's been a bad second baseman, but I also don't know how good of a second baseman Beatty's going to be now if he's played all these other positions. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe we'll see if all these guys actually do get healthy, but it'll be a fun conversation when it happens.
Also, shout out to Freddie Peralta. Myself, a lot of people in the Mets community frustrated with Freddie over the last couple starts. Gave us a great one. Like, again, it's weird to say like we needed it because this team is 12 games under 500 after the win, and like obviously the season's over. But like in a moment where like the Mets
9 games under 500.
9 games? Did I ever read that wrong?
9 games.
27-35.
I got 26 and 35.
26 and 35.
Oh, that would have been 8 games.
That would have been 8 games.
Oh no, 27-35. You're right, 8 games.
Okay, so I got the numbers mixed up. I did 25-37. I've been doing that a lot lately. I gotta check out my brain. But Freddie Peralta, great start. Like that's what we needed. That's the frontline Freddie that we've been waiting for, and not just giving us 5 innings, which is phenomenal.
It still wasn't even like all the way to frontline Freddie because there was still traffic early on. I mean, J.P. Crawford hit a leadoff home run against him when he had him down 0-2 and just could not put him away. But the best thing about Freddie in this start is that he finally found the slider again. Like some of it was still erratic, but used it almost 50% of the times against the righties. The most by far he's used it against righties in any start as a Met. It was cool to see his confidence grow in that pitch because as he was finishing his outing, once he got to that 6th inning, he front-doored one with 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena that just fucking froze him. And it made Randy gave a look like, oh, shit, like I didn't know that was going to be something that you were going to break out. Like when you see a guy like Randy Arozarena for the 3rd time, might have even been the 4th time. No, that was the 3rd time. Yeah, that was for sure the 3rd time. Like that was a cool moment to see Freddie regain the confidence on a pitch that seems like he'd lost the confidence in during his Mets tenure.
Again, we keep saying it, but like just need him to be better. He doesn't have to be the best pitcher in Major League Baseball, but we do need him to kind of be big balls guy right now when Nolan McLean and some of the other guys in the rotation are kind of reeling a bit.
Yeah, and again, like if you look at Freddie Peralta top line, like a 3.3 ERA is
it's fantastic.
It's just the 1-3 whip is ugly, and that's making him not pitch deeply into games. But like, there's definitely stuff to pull from. It's just maybe next time don't let J.P. Crawford almost hit the cycle against you.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we can agree, shake hands on that. No J.P. Crawford cycles anymore.
Yeah, try not to. But this was again fun game, kind of how it's supposed to look, and we still use the 18 bullpen because we have the off day, and these guys just didn't pitch that much this series. And Weaver's been fucking nails. He's been nasty. He's been great. And now this appearance, something that you love, he was just like, I'm going to throw my fastball in the zone. I
love it. Attack.
Why don't you just hit it? Why don't you just try to hit it? 100% strike rate on the fastball, and he threw that pitch 8 out of his 10 pitches.
Listen, we know Luke Weaver's been listening because I feel like ever since I yelled and screamed about him, like, throw in the zone, man. You got stuff. He's been attacking more, and what do you know? The success has been following suit.
No, he's been great, and it's just this team still just kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah, and still definitely sucks. And like I was talking to a lot of guys in North Carolina because again, big like content creator, charity baseball game. So we're talking about the Mets a lot. A lot of guys were like, "So how about those Mets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like they suck." I was like, "But also like this isn't the full team. This isn't the roster that was supposed to be playing until they come back. Like I'm just kind of hoping that we can get there and I can feel okay about it. If they continue to play like this when Lindor and Polanco and all these guys are back, then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, the season is mega dead now."
It's just again, I don't want to give optimism because I don't believe it in my heart, but it's just like, can you drag yourself towards 500 in the next month?
Because that's what we need. We got to be close to 500 by the end of June.
And we still probably don't get Lindor back for 3 more weeks. I still think best case scenario. I see he's now doing baseball-like activities, but I'm sure he needs at least a week of rehab games when that happens.
I would like for him to see live pitching before he plays for the Mets again.
He's such a sicko, he might not.
Yeah.
But that would be and then also like Alvy being back already is awesome. And
He's
Polanco,
for all the injuries he gets, he finds a way to come back unbelievably fast from these injuries every single time.
remarkably. And there's a lot of the people listening to this show who really can't stand Francisco Alvarez for reasons unbeknownst to myself. But then you see just the Hayden Sanger games. Hayden Sanger's a great guy. Like as a third catcher, great defensive player, so totally fine. Yeah. But like as a team that's starving for offense right now, you just need the guy who can hit tanks.
And as much as we love Torrens, we love him as a backup catcher. You see that when you play Luis Torrens 4 times a week. Because remember when that was a conversation of like, should Torrens be playing more than Francisco Alvarez? No, absolutely not. Like his role is backup catcher, defensive first. When there's a team that's going to try and run a little bit more, or a guy who doesn't hold on runners as well, that's where he serves his purpose. But Francisco Alvarez at catcher, that's the best version of the New York Mets. There is no doubt about it.
Same with probably Jorge Polanco back at first base and old Jarrett Young at designated hitter.
Yeah, that's the best version of the Mets.
And I think that version of the Mets can probably find a way to sustain offense. Again, I don't know if there's enough offense to sustain to actually get this team back in any kind of race whatsoever, but we can't think about anything else right now. Just get these guys healthy. Hopefully you can score 4 runs a game, keep pitching decent. And again, if we could be like, we just won 16-12 in May. I know June's really hard. There's a lot of hard tems on the schedule, but we lost to the bad teams.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter who we play against. We could win or lose because the team's just not very good. But I don't know, any just momentum. I just wanted to like actually feel okay about watching a Mets game in the middle of August.
Yeah, once the NBA Finals are over, like if we just have baseball, I need a sport to be excited about. So Mets, please, for the love of God, figure it out soon.
Technically, if it goes 7 games, we're more than halfway through June. And then if we're already halfway through June, that means there's only 1 full calendar month between the end of the NBA Finals and the start of college football.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, but see, you're an Ohio State guy. I'm South Carolina. We suck, so I have nothing to look forward to.
I got being in Columbus over the weekend, I got the inklings of Ohio State football, and I was like, oh yeah, actually I'm kind of excited for this. I was playing NCAA again because I was like, yeah, I want to get back into this right now.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, but it's I watched this Mets team, and I'm so not encouraged, despite the fact of trying to give you guys some optimism.
Yeah, super trying to give you some optimism. Also, just some little housekeeping fun things to mention here before we talk about the Knicks and Padres preview. Murphy in the booth, friend of the podcast.
Fun.
Always electric. I like seeing that people on Twitter, too, now are kind of like when we eventually do move on from Keith, because we know that's happening. Like, he's just not going to announce forever. Like, Murphy's a great guy to add to Gary and Ron.
And I think it comes through in these broadcasts that Murphy is he's kind of funny, he's a whimsical dude. 2, he is such a massive baseball freak that it's just he loves the game so much. Like when Jared Young hit that little squeaker double off the base that kind of pushed the Mets rally forward that Wednesday, Murphy was cackling. He was laughing like a witch, stirring their brew. He was like, ha ha. He just loves the game. It's fun to have a guy in the booth who loves the game that much. And him playing the back and forth with Gary was fun.
Yes.
Some very funny comments by both of them to each other. It was just there's a good vibe, I think, that's developing between those two, which is nice to see.
Yeah, definitely cool. And then we had other rehab stuff. Senga, right? Senga's looked horrible.
Senga's looked not good at AAA again.
Shocker.
He hit 2 batters. He had a couple wild pitches. It's just
what is his fucking deal?
I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to this guy, but this was it's a real shame.
The fucking Monstars happened. They took Pete Alonso, threw him a bad toss to first, and he was like, I don't remember how to play baseball anymore.
I mean, if Sean Manaea is going to be a good starting pitcher, and Christian Scott's still a good starting pitcher, I don't even care. Just let Kodai Senga pitch in relief. I don't care. I really don't.
Let him be the opener. Shit. Just
throw 2 innings and be the 7th inning guy. I don't care. Be the fireman. If you can come in, remember the old magician that Senga has been.
Yes.
If you can just come in with 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and get 1 strikeout in the ghost fork and gas 99 with the fastball, that's probably the best version of Kodai Senga you can get right now.
Yeah, because the starting pitcher version does not look like something that will be beneficial for the New York Mets.
Just feels lost. Let's burn through this Padres preview so we get to the Knicks Corner.
Yeah. Before we get going into that Padres preview, though, Mets'd Up is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. James, Padres series Mets, who are you looking at for maybe one of your daily dingers picks?
Why not Fernando Tatis? We could help him get off the schneid, right?
I mean, he got his 1 home run, so at least he won't hit his first of the year against the Mets, but it would be fitting if he started to get hot right about now.
Yeah, him getting hot, Manny Machado, who's hitting a $170 getting hot. Someone's going to do something against the Mets that we don't think deserves to. Jackson Merrill, yeah, any of these guys, I mean, honestly, the Mets
and
pitching
also Juan Soto. Juan Soto loves playing against teams that have traded him.
Yeah, so that's the one right there. Because I don't know who else in the Mets hitting home run. Maybe Jared Young.
So, are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. That's FanDuel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
James, hit us with those pitching previews.
Pitching matchups, Mets against the Padres. This is, I'm pretty sure, the end of the late night games all season. We've grinded through a lot of these. We're going to have 2 more nights of midnight Mets on Friday and Saturday, which that could be fun at 10 o'clock start for the Mets on Friday night.
That could be a lot of fun.
Or it could be double bad. But
yes.
Friday night, bit of an ace-off. Christian Scott versus Michael King. Saturday, 10. So Friday's 9:40. Saturday's 10:10, just to keep you guys aware. Nolan McLean versus Old Fen Griffin Canning. Sunday, 4 o'clock matinee. Sean Manaea versus Randy Vasquez.
So, context for this Padres team. They'd been playing above their skis most of the season. They've hit quite a skid right now. They're not playing great. They're getting closer and closer to 500. Their offense has been abysmal, which doesn't matter because you're playing the New York Mets. So has ours. I think right now in their starting lineup, in their starting 9, there's like 2 guys that are above average hitters statistically. I think it's like Gavin Sheets and Miguel Andujar. And then I guess the other guy is Ty France, who he will switch with Gavin Sheets based on who's on the mound. They've been abysmal offensively. Like Fernando Tatis, we mentioned, 1 home run on the year. He's been terrible. Jackson Merrill's been really, really bad. Manny Machado, talk about one of the least valuable players in baseball this year. Mark Vientos, and Marcelo Ozuna are having coughing baby fights right now about who can be the worst.
I mean, Machado, Padres fans are even starting to turn on him. At least, I mean, he still plays great defense, so he'll never be close to those other guys.
Yeah,
but he's in a $170. Some Padres fans I've seen, for some reason, I always squirt my way into Padres Twitter.
That's a weird word to use.
Yeah, weird one. So I'll take that one back. I guess squirm I was looking for.
Yeah.
But Padres fans been talking about his conditioning, the fact that he looks unenthused, which welcome meet Manny Machado, baseball James Harden. But that he's a little bit out of shape right now. People are accusing him of, and he kind of looks like a little bit with the jersey. Again, not to accuse that. He already has 2 strikeouts in their day game that's happening right now against Zach Wheeler. They're being no hit right now through 4 innings. Just want to throw that out there. And the Padres have had a skid lately, but it's just kind of because they continue to play the Phillies. They have played the Phillies 6 times in their last 9 games. As of right now, they've lost every single game to them.
Oh, my God.
And they're tied 0-0 in the 4th inning with Lucas Giolito against Zach Wheeler. They also just lost a series to the Nationals in Washington. So they're flying home right now and then coming back for this home set against us. So we actually have, weirdly, the travel advantage against the Padres going from Seattle with an off day. But Michael King is going to absolutely rip us a new one.
We own Michael King, though, remember?
We do own Michael King. You're right. Wow. We do
good pitcher.
Really good pitcher. I guess if that were to happen, if we can get a win off Michael King, I'll start to feel pretty good, especially about the midnight Mets. But, again, I don't have a lot of confidence. Like Michael King, the changeup and the sweeper are back. He looks like a great pitcher once again. He's not like as great as he was a few years ago, but he's phenomenal right now. And then Canning and Vasquez, like these are guys you should be able to hit, especially Griffin Canning.
Randy Vasquez was really good to start the season. The stuff's kind of calmed down a little bit, coming back a little back to earth. He's still pitching pretty well. Like again,
he's a good pitcher.
Take him right now in the Mets rotation over some of the guys. But Griffin Canning, loved him last year. Great to see him come back and pitch again after completely blowing out his Achilles. But as pitchers do when they blow out their Achilles, his stuff just hasn't been particularly good or sharp. He's got like a 7 ERA. The problem with this Padres team, this is what's been like an issue for the Mets over the last few years, is the Mets don't score early and often. And against the Padres, you need to score early because as soon as that bullpen comes into the game, you're not scoring. You might score 1 run the rest of the game. So it's like you got to somehow find a way to get a lead so that when Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon and Bradley Rodriguez and Wandy Peralta and Jason Adam and Jeremiah Estrada have an opportunity to come into the game, it's because they're losing, not because they have a win.
The Padres also seem to be like fully invigorated by their own bullpen because when those guys come into the game, that's when their offense decides to turn it on. The Padres are the worst offensive team in baseball anyway, but for some reason, innings 7 through 9, they become a very formidable offensive team. Because again, I feel like they get a jolt. But just to tell you guys how bad this Padres offense has been so far, just rankings among all teams in baseball, entering play on Thursday. Runs, 30th. Batting average, 30th. On-base percentage, 30th.
Worse than the Mets is crazy.
Slugging percentage, 29th. The only team in the worst slug is the Mets, of course.
Cool, that's
but
sick.
Even the Mets in those stats, 22nd in runs, 28th in batting average, 29th in OBP. So this Padres team somehow...
It's actually crazy the Mets are 22nd in runs with those numbers.
I mean, the Mets have had a few big run games. True. So that kind of weights that whole thing. But 28th in batting average, 29th in on-base percentage. The Padres are getting few hits less often than the Mets and getting on base less often than the Mets, just to give a sense of where their season's gone so far. And they're still 4 games over 500.
Yeah, which that makes me so mad to see that.
Yeah, but again, Phillies just took the lead. There it is.
There it is.
Padres are about possibly in line to lose their 6th consecutive game against the Phillies, who are right back where they want to be in the standings.
Yeah, I wonder what sparked that.
But I mean, probably having a better team than the Mets. But just you gotta find ways to just chip away and win 2s out of 3s. If you can go a 500 road trip against 2 teams who are good teams, that makes this okay.
It does make it okay.
That's all I'm holding out for at this point. Stay level.
I mean, let's be honest. There's one orange and blue team that everybody's watching right now. It's the New York Knicks. That's why we're bringing the Knicks Corner back. Oh my God, the Knicks won Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and it was so good. It was incredible. I had my Brunson jersey on while I was playing in the charity baseball game. I was like, I don't care. I'm wearing Knicks stuff everywhere. I was getting chirped by people in North Carolina claiming that they're Spurs fans. Some of them were children. Some of them were adults. I was chirping back. I was like, just wait. The Spurs went up 13. Oh, this game's over. I was like, it's the second quarter. Have you guys never watched basketball before? And have you never watched Knicks basketball before? Because this team, talk about fucking grinding and gritty and just a bunch of dogs. Like, shout out the Knicks for building a team of dogs.
I think what you said is true. I think a lot of people haven't watched much Knicks basketball because the way that the national media and like fans who are kind of like casuals for the NBA, and I'm a casual for the NBA, but I'm a diehard for the Knicks, like the way that people talk about the Knicks is, again, like they don't watch them play. Like people like all Jalen Brunson does is flop. It's not even true at all.
Yeah.
Not even close to being true. People put him in the category of like James Harden and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's not even remotely close to being true. The Knicks didn't take a non-Mitch Robinson free throw, I think, until the second half of Game 1.
Dude, Wemby had more free throws than the New York Knicks going into the fourth quarter. He's like 7'6". How is he getting all those free throws?
Well, because he gets hacked a lot. He's a
flopper.
100%. But flopping is part of the game. You can't take flopping out.
Oh, camera's gone.
Where's my camera go?
Where'd your camera go?
God, just turned off again.
Tough one.
Yeah, we keep talking through it, right? I'm gonna turn it right back on.
Yeah,
real quick.
just talk through it. But to see the Knicks again start a little bit slow after another week plus off because all they do is win basketball games once they lost a couple to the Hawks, playing the best basketball that we've seen in NBA history in a stretch. I get such a fun, tingly feeling watch this team where, as crazy as it is, like, my favorite thing, James will say this, I love live betting the Knicks. Like, as soon as the Knicks go down like 10, I'm like, how can I get some money when this team comes back and wins? But I truly do believe it. Like, down 13, I had no doubt in my mind that this team was going to make it at least a one-possession game going into the fourth quarter.
It's also surreal as a Knicks fan, like having watched this team's like trials and tribulations over the last few playoff runs, that we're getting into every single series and we're the deeper team.
Yep.
Like the Knicks bench, the spark they provided yesterday for Landry Shamet to actually miss threes, which was kind of shocking.
But
then to
also
watch him not stop clipping.
Yeah. And he's like, he wasn't as sharp as a three because it wasn't possible to be as good as he was from three.
He can't go 94% again,
yeah,
probably.
It's not really possible.
Probably.
I think he still was like 40%. Like, he still shot pretty well from three.
I think he wound up being 2 for 5 or 2 for 4.
Like, he was still great from three, and they were big shots. But then also defensively, like, these guys get after it on defense. Defense is always, like, overrated in the regular season in the NBA. Like, who gives a shit? But, man, the Knicks defense in the playoffs has been unbelievable. They kept Wemby to, like, 20 points.
And Wemby had like the worst shooting game I remember him having in the last few months.
He had a freak out at the end of the game.
And that was the thing that, again, I think national media missed about this Knicks-Spurs matchup. I do think a lot of people recognize that the Knicks offense would give the Spurs defense more fits than they saw against any team in the West, while also being the best defense by far the Knicks have seen so far in the postseason. I do not think people gave the proper credit to what the Knicks defense could do to the Spurs offense, because there were huge periods of time in that game yesterday where the Spurs had no chance to create any offense at all whatsoever. Nothing. And that was how the Knicks got back in the game, especially like when in the second half, Cornet comes in for Wemby. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like It's like when you're playing baseball and you're swinging with a donut, you take that donut off and you're like, oh, now my bat speed's insane.
Oh, Jalen immediately went to the hole on the first possession and was like, I'm scoring on you. This is free.
And it's funny because like Cornette's not even that bad of like in terms of backup center. So Cornette's pretty good. He's just
great. Remember when like he went to the Celtics? What was it, last year? 2 years ago he was on the Celtics and the Knicks had him originally. And we were like, damn, like we've been dying for some backup centers for years, and we had a guy and we just let him go to the Celtics.
yeah, we did have Luke Cornette, which is funny, but like it's again, it's not fair to him because Wemby's just the best defender that we're probably ever going to wind up seeing in our lives. He's like on his way to that point right now, but it's just when he comes out and you can start playing downhill, and then we took the momentum. Even in the first half when Brunson went to the locker room briefly with a knee injury and it felt like shit was going wrong.
Oh, I started panicking.
Jose Alvarado just acting like a fucking lunatic, like a Tasmanian devil honey badger, playing insane minutes, chirping at his former rival from high school, Julian Champagny, two dudes from the city who played high school ball against each other, going 3 for 3 and yelling at each other. Did you realize half of the starting fives, not starting fives, but there's 5 players in this series who are from New York or New Jersey.
I mean, this is the best region for basketball in the entire country. It's not even close. Like the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, this is where the best basketball players come from.
Like one of them being Dylan Harper, like holy shit, that guy's good.
Your text to me last night hurt my soul to read.
Tell me what it was.
James, you texted us at like 1:45 in the morning because, of course, still ripping from that Knicks win. And you were like, Dylan Harper was 13 when COVID happened.
When COVID started, yeah.
That's crazy. That's nuts. He wasn't even old enough, I think, to technically have a Twitch account, a username on Twitch when COVID happened.
He turned 14 just after it. I think his birthday was like April or May.
That's crazy.
Point stands. This guy was a middle schooler when the pandemic began, just to make us all feel really old for a second. But I really respect Mitch Johnson's decision to sit him down at the end of the game. I think as a rookie, you have to make sure that he don't let the moment get too big for him. Ignore the fact that he's definitely your best offensive creator, possibly your second best player in general. I very much support him sitting during crunch time.
Got to make sure, Devin Vassell's out there, Keldon Johnson, get those guys some big minutes.
Dude, Keldon Johnson played like 3 minutes. Keldon Johnson won 6th man of the year. He's added this rotation in the finals.
I mean, listen, keep doing what they're doing, Spurs, because I'll tell you this, like, I was listening to Knicks film school, friends of the channel. Shout out Andrew Claudio, the man. Oh, there goes your camera again. What's going on?
I think it's just really overheating. It's been on for hours straight, but keep talking through it.
They were talking about how like this wasn't an X's and O's win for the Knicks. Like this was just like go out, play hoops, be better, be dogs. And I really do think that because like I don't think the Spurs necessarily did anything wrong, and I don't think the Knicks necessarily did anything right, rather than that the Knicks just played better. And I think that's something that's really cool about this Knicks team is that there doesn't need to be like any gimmick or anything. It's just like these guys show up every single night and they pick each other up. Josh Hart did not have it offensively and got 15 fucking boards as a 6'4" man going up against a guy in Wembanyama who's 7'6". Like the Knicks played possessed last night, and that's the kind of shit that makes me so excited moving forward in this series.
OG Anunoby was nothing all game, and all of a sudden he hits 2 threes, one after a jab step, standing perfectly still with Wemby in his face.
Yeah.
Did the same thing in the NBA Cup. Turtle, Jerry Ferrara had a great quote about what you just said, where it's like the Knicks did not steal game 1. This was an armed robbery by a group of skilled thieves.
Yes, like that was just like we know exactly what we're doing here, and we're going to execute our plan flawlessly.
And the Spurs tried the same gimmicks that they pulled and worked on the Thunder, where they brought in Carter Bryant for 10 insane minutes of like being in Jalen Brunson's grill, playing physical defense. Jalen was like, I don't care.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm going to shake you off right now. Like, you won't be able to get in my head. Like, and they were fouling tough, and the refs weren't. Oh, but the Knicks didn't have a very good whistle. And again, home in the NBA playoffs, home team gets a better whistle. It's how the game works. Jalen got his jersey pulled on a few occasions, didn't get called for everyone bullshitting about him flopping.
Wasn't able to land cleanly on like almost any layup.
Cat got clotheslined by Wemby, and they got an offensive foul.
That was crazy.
Shame on us for getting 10 minutes into the Knicks Corner and not mentioning that Karl-Anthony Towns was the best player in the court last night.
His defense is unbelievable.
His maturation as like a player and a person over the last 6 weeks, 2 months, I can't even believe who he is right now. This is kind of like, this is something that happens to players in all sports, or it mostly, I think, though, the NBA, where it's kind of necessary for a guy who's like a volume scorer, like a former all-pro dude. You have to give something up at some point if you actually want to do the real thing, which is win a championship, rather than like get the personal accolades. And like the way he's done that, being an auxiliary facilitator, playing insane defense on Wemby, becoming the best rebounder he's ever been in his career, being physical, being aggressive. He took Wemby to the cup.
Oh, went at him.
And he beat him many times. Like that was something, again, the Thunder couldn't do with Chet. Wemby would get in Chet's grill, and Chet would be like, I can't play anymore.
Because Wemby for as amazing of a defender as Wemby is, he is not a physical player at all.
He's a baby.
I mean, he's 7'6", so his bones weigh 250 pounds because it's an incredible amount of bone that he's got. But like, pause.
Jesus.
But at the same time, like if you get in Wemby's grill, as we saw, especially on the defensive side, he does not like it. He does not handle physicality well. And we saw it was that one stretch where like he took that insane shot going down the middle where he flopped after he barely got touched by Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet blew on him, and Wemby went down like he got shot by a gun. And then he had the corner from 3 where he bricked it off the side of the backboard. And that's just because Knicks were making him move fast and playing physical on him, and he's not comfortable with that. The Frenchies, the Europeans don't play basketball like that.
No, it was the same thing with Castle, who Castle's just been bodying everybody he plays always. Someone had a great tweet that Castle plays basketball like Isaiah Pacheco plays football. And
yeah. And
I see it for sure.
I do love Stephon Castle as a ball player. I love him on my team. Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. But, like, there was a big possession that Britt Holtzman, who's part of the Knicks Film School family as well. He was like, this is my favorite defensive possession in the game, where Josh Hart first fought over a screen to stick with Castle, so the switch never happened with Brunson. And then twice, Castle tried to bump him, and Josh Hart's like, that's me. That's it. You're not getting anything past that. Grown man
literally
strength.
my role here is to be this guy.
It's a 30-year-old versus 21-year-old right now, like, and that's it. And then Castle just flubbed a layup. And it was
and
like,
he
damn.
hit that big 3 too, Castle, when I did not think he was going to take that shot.
That got them back in the game. But Castle's a dog. Harper's a dog. I think De'Aaron Fox, he still kind of seems a little banged up, not sharp. I think he will have a big game.
Yes.
This Spurs team will not go down easy. I know the Knicks have won 12 games in a row now, so it feels there's like in your head you're like, are they ever going to lose again? But this is going to be a dogfight. But winning the first game is really important. Stealing home court.
Blood. Game 2. Goodbye, camera.
Yeah.
I'm calling for blood. For those of you Mets'd Up listeners who were here during 2024 when we were playing the Phillies, I used to scream blood before we'd play the Phillies in the playoffs. Knicks, blood. No. This is a blood game on Friday night.
Yeah, you win Friday, you go to like a 90% chance to win the series.
Yeah, and then you have a chance to win it in fucking New York.
Even just I can't wait to play in New York, but this camera keeps going out, so we gotta cut this now. Let's do Frankie and get him out of here.
Yeah, we'll do Frankie and get him out of here.
All right, here comes Frankie Peps.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? So I take off the Mets sweep. Wonderful. I would have loved to left the message, but I had my marching orders, no problem. And then I get to come back and we lose a series against the Mariners. At least the third game was good. I don't know, gentlemen. I'll let you make the call because it seems like when I get the series off the Mets sweep, and I will gladly sacrifice my Instagram messages here to help these Mets win some more. I hope you boys are doing well. And Mark, I don't know if you've played your ball game already or if you're going to be, but I hope you had a nice flight and I hope you have a great game. All right, gentlemen, I'll talk to you soon. Let's go, Mets.
I love Frankie. So wholesome.
So wholesome.
For 1 with the strikeout.
Yeah, that's all right. Very much understanding of his role, but maybe give Frankie Sunday off again.
I think we're going to give him the weekend off simply as an experiment. We have data. We need more sample before we can come to a conclusion. But I will never blame Frankie for anything. But why not have more information? Why not have more data? Data's good.
No, 100%. And also just worth mentioning, like, let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. It's all about the Knicks, baby.
Yeah. Again, it'll be fun that the Mets will, by the time the Mets play their next game, we'll be watching a Knicks game.
We will be watching a Knicks game, and it is going to be electric. I can't wait. Guys, thank you so much for listening, watching the Mets'd Up / Knicks Up podcast. We do appreciate all of you. Make sure you subscribe to us over on YouTube to see the video version if you're listening to us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Drops a rating, drops a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Nick Mark. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Let's go Knicks. Peace out.
Let's go Knicks, guys.